ראי תלמיד בוא יחד עם חידוש שלו. ככה זה בכל השונים בנגיע לסדר קריאת התורה. פרשת ראי תמיד הוא שייך באיזשהו אופן לחידוש אלו.
English? English.
האנגלית שלי לא טובה.
I got mixed up. Sorry. So the Rebbe says that Parashat always comes out together with Chodesh Elul. And the way we have the Seder of the Kriyas Torah is that Parashat is either Shabbos Mavochim Chodesh Elul or it's the Shabbos Rosh Chodesh Elul, the first day of Rosh Chodesh, like we have this year. Yeah, or שיהיה Shabbos המבורך, זה Chodesh Elul, השבס של לפניה, או זה Shabbos Mavochim, או כמו השנה, Shabbos Rosh Chodesh Elul. ולכן לא ירח שאין קשר בין פרשת ראי לחודש אלול. It says that we take it at surface glance, not only there doesn't seem to be any clear connection between פרשת ראי and חודש אלול, אלא אפילו להיפך. לכל אחד מהם ישנה משמעות הפוכה מחבטה. That Parashat Re'eh and the whole concept of Elul appear at first glance to have an opposite implication, one from the other. So therefore he says, what is the opposite implication? Chodesh Elul madgish davke es avedas ha'odom. If you remember, that's what we learned last week, but again to Elul in the Sikha Pasha Eka. But the Rebbe said that the Eden from Elul, Ani Ladoidi, and afterwards, Doidi Li, and that indicates the principle of Avedas Odom. Ani Ladoidi, the Odom is Miskarav Telekus, and then there's an answer, Melomaila of Doidi Li. And we saw more in that, we saw deeper in the implication of last week's. See how we saw that is like a hint at the whole kavanah of the Eibusha in creating the world. And the whole Bria Zoilom was that the Odom should make an effort to approach him. That was the whole basic idea. And that's the concept of Dira, that the Odom makes a dira. Hashem can make a dira that's not formed. But it's all the requirement that's hidden in the kavanah of the Bria is that the Odom should approach Elohim. So Im Ken Kuntais that the whole Inyan of Chodesh Elul emphasizes precisely the effort of the Odom melamata l'mayla lehiskara aladoi. To the loved one with that sacred involvement. Ani ladoidi. That the Ani, meaning the Odom, he approaches and he arouses himself to Elikus, and only as a result of that effort made by the Mensch, Magia Ha'ezra Elokis. And then it comes to divine assistance and divine help, doidili. That's what we learned last week, but again, Pasha Eger. Be'ilu Pasha Re'eh, would seem the Pasha Re'eh madgisha davke es ha'ezra v'habrocha elokis. Meaning, no ma'ila lamata, the davke Re'eh indicates in yonim of giving from Hashem downwards to the Odom. You're not expecting him necessarily to do anything, but everything coming in and over from above. So that would seem to be the opposite implication and the opposite theme of what El is all about. So how come that always Pasha Riyeh heralds and leads in El? It doesn't seem to make a sense. Ubrachazu, and this blessing, this divine assistance and blessing which is given, Mo'maila, Shedimsheches LeBnei Yisrael, Milmaila Lamata. Davke from above down, Davke from Hashem to the Odom, Mudgeshes B'kol Mila is emphasized and brought out clearly in every word of the Pasuk, Ri'ei Anoichi Noisen Lefnechem Hayom, Bracha Uklava. That's the first Pasuk in Ri'ei, and it's one on that the first Pasuk indicates the whole, what's going to be later, like the content of the whole Parsha. So in that first Pasuk, here we have, as it were, a inner message for the whole Parsha to come. So he said every word in that Pasuk indicates a divine help and a divine assistance, Milmaila Lamata, completely opposite of what El represents. And therefore he takes each word now the Rebbe in that first Pasuk, other Parshas Asher were, and he shows how it's got to do with the inner of Milmaila Lamata. Ri'ei, if we take the word Ri'ei, which is like a tzivui, it's like a command to the Odom that he should see. Yeah, it's like as if the Torah is urging you and telling you in a form of a imperative that you should see. So he said, Mevatei hafnoma amuka v'gavoya yeseh. As the Rebbe said, the word Ri'ei indicates a pneumias, very deep and very, very high in its content. He said, because what you see is brought down into a much deeper pneumias by dimension than what he sees. It's interesting, we mentioned this whole principle in the Maimon that we learned on Wednesday night. By the way, I would just like to offer a Pure of Nois Chalusha, a sort of a rather weak cry to support the shir of Wednesday night. It seems to be very as the old saying happened, better late than never.
Yes.
And better to appear and to be part of it. Wednesday night seems to be not a popular night. I don't know. There's such a few glorious few who I don't mind. I'm prepared, particularly for Yisha. I'd say I mainly keep it up because of Yisha. But it would be nice if we get have a few more people taking part. However, we learned last night in the Maimon, the Gemara says, and also it's brought down in the Mechilta, the famous Medrash on Shmoit, that Ein Adema Re'iyah L'Shmiyah, and that's in reference to a dayan on a birthday. So if somebody actually saw what happened, he can't be a dayan. He can't sit on the birthday. For us, because the whole inner of a person is that they have to hear from the end. That's what the Torah wants. That you didn't see it, you're a judge, you didn't know what happened, you hear from the witnesses what happened. That's what you do. But if you saw it, then you can't be a judge. Because since you see it, you're so convinced about what happened that giving a witness is not going to help. And you will never, if you decided that this guy actually did it because you saw it, then you'll never hear anything in his favor. So you can't be a judge. That's what both the Mechilta and the Gemara are talking about. And why is that? Because when you see something, it convinces you in a very, very profound way. And like a person says, but I saw it with my own eyes, you can never move from that, and the profound effect that only lasts for the rest of your life if you saw it. Machine, if you hear it, it comes through another entity to you. It's not your direct experience that comes from somebody else to you. Then you're not clear that you're based on another, another medium called the Adam. I couldn't tell what happened to you. I spoke to him and then you're not here. There's that's the difference between, in Ruchnis, between Re'iyah and Shmiya, and that's the difference between Chokhmah and Bina. A Chokhmah b'pnimiyusa is the inyan of Re'iyah. The ultimate conviction of Chokhmah is like Re'iyah. The Ilo Bina is like you're hearing it. It's like you're relying on certain information which is informing you about it. And that's the difference between Re'iyah and Shmiya. Do you think there might be a possibility?
It was cooking a minute ago, I'll get it.
So hopefully it's already finished cooking. Yeah. Mela, he said, that's the inyan of Re'iyah. Re'iyah indicates a very powerful thing, and that's given to you. You don't really look for what you see unless you're looking for something in a special way. Whatever is in your area, you see it. Well, that's given to you. It's not something that you gain through the medium of something else. Anoichi, which is referring to the very essence of Hashem Himself. Mavatei, Madrege Elokish Atzmiyaz, Vagavoya Yoter, Me'asher Habitui Ani. It's well known that there's a difference grammatically between the two words Ani Vanoichi. If I say the word Ani, then I'm referring to myself, that's true, but I'm referring to myself in a humble and self-effacing way. In other words, I'm saying I, but I don't really want to stress the importance of I just want to happen to mention myself, so I say I. That's the word Ani. But the word Anoichi indicates the importance of the person talking and what you might call his elevated state. So when Hashem said, thanks you for that. When Hashem says Anoichi, he's referring to his very essence as higher than all the worlds and all the Hishtalshalah. So that can only come from him. That's not Shaya that the creator being should reach that high. And therefore that's Milmailallah. He said, Shekain ho'ish koch hamitosefet b'mira onoichi misabeles es darges hakeser. It's well known that the word koch, the os koch is the Rosh Tevas of the word Kesed. It's the first ois of the word Kesed. Kesed being the Ein Sof L'Mailami, Ishtalshalas spirit. And also, it happens to be interesting that the word Kesed itself is B'Gematria Esri. The word Kesed is B'Gematria Esri. And Esri is 20, which is Kof. So from all sides, Kof indicates the inyan of Elakus L'Mailami, or Ilmas L'Gamri. Is merely you can't get to that. Elohim Kaina will be given So he said Noisein. The word Noisein implies that somebody's giving. So who is giving here? It's always hard to say. Hashem talking about himself giving. So therefore says the Rebbe Noisen Matona Elokis Hanitnes Per Simcha. The Gemara brings in Babasra in several places in Shas that if a person decides to give a gift, let's say plainly decides to give you a gift, then we say that Kol HaNoisein Ba'ayin Yochel Noisen. If I decide to give a gift, then that usually comes from a pnimis towards the person, or mitzvah desire to make him pleased for some positive reason. And therefore, if I give him a matana, I try to make it a nice thing. And I also try to do it in such a way that I look pleased about it. I look happy to make him happy. And therefore the word noisein in Lashon of the Gemara indicates an asina b'simcha. So that means that Hashem gives us milmayla lamata, but He gives us in a positive and kaviyachol simcha, dig away. Lifneichem, in front of you, is also a hamshocha mil mayla lamata. Choideres, koidem lepinimius ha'odam, v'rach achachach lechitzenius ha'im. So the Rebbe said that if a human gives you, then first of all he gives you to your outside aspect. He gives to your hands or to your body, and he just sees you from the outside. And later, at a day, careful examination and expression from you and other things, he gets some idea of what's happening in your pneumius. Over the Eibishter, if the Eibishter gives us something, then he gives first to our pneumius everything what by Hashem revealed. So if Hashem gives something, then he gives first into the pneumius, and then later that penetrates and affects all the chitonim. In other words, the opposite of giving, therefore the word lifneichem also indicates hamshocha from the Eibishter downwards to the bench. Therefore it goes lifneichem, which means that the Rebbe is touching the word lifneichem from Russian pneumius. The word pneichem from Russian pneumius. The Eibishter gives first to the pneumius, and then later he worries about the thing. Hayoim, the last word, well, not the last word, but getting close to the end of the posik, Hayom, Mesamel, Oya V'giloi, Nitchios, Elokim. So the Rebbe says, if you say Yom, then the in of Yom indicates a revelation. Vayikro Elokim la'oer Yom. Hashem called the whole in of revelation, the beginning of the, he called it Yom. If I say Hayom, that means today, which means that wherever I am in history, the Torah says to me, Hayom. But Hayom means anytime, wherever you'll be, this will be the day. Hayom indicates that wherever we are, we're talking about today, which means that that's beyond time. That's beyond the limitations of time. Therefore, that's a giloi, which is also unlimited. Unlimited giloi can only come from above. That can only come from Hashem. And therefore, there's a diuk in different places, in Rashi and other places, that they're medayik, wherever it's written Hayom in a verse in the Torah, that brings it up to our day where we are. We're talking to you, Hayom, today. Which means that the Torah was written, I don't know how many, thousands of yoms ago. Nonetheless, the Torah says Hayom, as it's beyond time, and it's referring to the day where you find yourself now. But that indicates a nitchios of Elokim, how do you call it, a divine, everlasting. Ubracha, the Rebbe said the word blessing, Gamkein misamelas hamshocha melmailala, Mata bracha also indicates, embodies a hamshocha melmailala mata. He said, "Va'af hamshocha nailish kolkach," and even hamshocha kolkach gavoya, so high, she'ena yechola liyizgalas b'tzura chiyuviyas ba'ilon, ela rak b'tzura shliliyas. So what does it remember? Even Shanira Kamoi Klola Rahmanin and Klam. So we have to explain this a little bit, make it clear. What's the Rebbe hinting at here? It's written in the Pasuk, and it's written the word Klola. So the Rebbe doesn't mention the word Klola. He only refers to the word bracha. So why is that? Why does he not refer to Klola? Because he says that since bracha is one owns from Russian break or Russian coming downwards, or that's coming from Hashem downwards, that it's covering such a level that it makes everything bracha. Even what is called in the Torah Klala really is a bracha. And it's one of when the Alter Rebbe used to read the Tefach, but the Middle Rebbe never heard. You know the whole story. In other words, that the Alter Rebbe revealed the bracha which is really hidden even in the Klala. What that means, that this word bracha in the pasuk is coming from such a level in the divine. Well, only he can do that. It's not say that we can reach such a level, which is so satum that it makes everything positive. And the Rebbe brings, what I have to tell him, this amazing story.
Amen.
I have to tell you the story. The Rebbe brings in a footnote almost a whole page long. The Rebbe brings a story in the Gemara, Masechta Moed Kota, Daf Tet. And there it's written that Rabbi Shimon was together with his son. It's very interesting. It doesn't say Rabbi Elazar. It just says Bray. He was together with his son. And some people have a whole question over there in that piece of Gemara. Maybe that indicates that Rashbi had another son apart from Rabbi Elazar. Yeah, that's what some people want to learn. But others want to say that it's not being Meduya, it's the same Bray, and you understand that that means Rabbi Elazar. Anyway, it's written that two people came to visit, and they were Tanoim. They were from the Zman of Tanoim. And Rashbi looked at these two people, one of whom was Rabbi Yehuda ben Galen. That's a very interesting thing, because Yehuda ben Galen is brought down in the Gemara Masechta Shabbos, that he was the one who pimped on Rashbi. In other words, so Taisvus over there asked, who's this Rabbi Yehuda ben Galen? Who Rashbi praised these two people very highly. And if that was him, the one who later pimped on the Rashbi, it's rather hard to imagine that the Rashbi would praise him. And therefore, Taisvus wants to say there were two Rabbi Yehuda ben Gerens. Yeah, two Rabbi Yehuda ben Gerens. Of others disagree with it, and they learn too. It's a whole amazing story. So anyway, Rabbi Shimon says to his son, which we just assume is Rabbi Elazar, he said, pay careful attention to these people, because they are Anshe Tzura. They are people of shape, literally. They're deeply, inwardly built people. You know, they're high people. Rashbi said about them. So they spoke for a while with the Rashbi and everything, and then they said they were on an important journey, they had to leave. So they left. The Rashbi said to his son, he said, you know what? He said, run after them and they will bless you. Get them to give you a blessing. And he said, it's really worthwhile getting a blessing from these guys. So brave, meaning probably Rabbi Elazar, he ran after them and they turned around, saw that he came. They said, oh, you, this is... They started pouring on him all sorts of very undignified Lashonos, and in the end they said words of klala, you know, you'll do this but it won't work, and you feel it will go wrong and everything will be bad, you won't have what to eat and the guts and a whole sort of thing. He was just absolutely, you know, dumbfounded. He couldn't figure, you know, what's this, you know, what's going on. So he went back to his father.
He went back to his father.
We have a very honored guest arrived today from Poland. And Be'ez Hashem is a Baal Simcha.
Simon Tov Mazel
Vamela, Rashbi's son, whoever that is, we assume it was Rabbi Elazar, he was very So he goes back to Rashbi, and he says to the Rashbi, there's not another one? No. And he says to the Rashbi, I don't give yours away. I have. And he says to the Rashbi, Chiru Chiram, they have made us full of tsar. Us. He used the plural about himself. So Rashbi didn't turn an eyelid, and he said, what did they say? So he repeated what they said, and the Rashbi said, oh, you got it wrong. They really meant this and this and this. And he showed how it was all problems. What they really meant was problems. And these prophets were from such a high madriga that they can only come down in the world in the form of like what you might call an officer that's so high that they can't come into the world, and that's what the Rashbi said to his son. So comes on over to the Marshal, and he says, absolutely amazing thing. He says that Rashbi's son, which we assume is Rabbi Elazar, a very elevated person, he would never have suspected two great people. His father said they were great people. He would never have suspected them of cursing him. So it comes out if he said that he didn't really think that they had cursed him. As he came, why did he go to his father and say, they put me into the tsar? Because he couldn't figure out what is the problem. And because he couldn't figure out what is the problem, he was the tsar. And his father took him out of the tsar by telling him what the problem really was. At least they taught in the Marshal. And another Rebbe says another shot, we can say, and this is also hinted at in the Marshal, we can say another shot, that the people who read the Gemara in all the generations to come, they're not on a matrega break of Rabbi Elazar, they're not on his matrega. So they look in the Gemara and it looks as if these guys really gave him a bad deal. So the ordinary learners, they're put in the tsar until something happens. If they wouldn't read another few lines further in the Gemara, they would be b'tzar for the sake of Rabbi Elazar. And therefore he said it in the plural. The Rebbe is amazing deal. He said to his father, Chiaram, they made us. He should have said Chiaruoti. You know, why did he say Chiaram? He's referring to all the people who are going to learn that Sugya in the Jews are going that they're going to be put into trouble until they'll get out of it by the Rashbi telling them what it was. Anyway, what it all was, that's an amazing footnote of the Rebbe about this one. Yes, remember, that's the Indian of what it was down there is that the brachas in the Torah are almost all of them are from such a level that even what appears to be Torah is really bracha. But Lafi said, we earn another very important inyan, and that is, it's not just good nature and wanting to help people that makes the great Meforshim tell us that all the klolas, are really brachas. And the Mitzvah Rebbe used to hear only brachas when the Alter Rebbe read. But that is really the truth. That is really the emes, that all the things in the Torah all come from bracha. And it's not shite to talk about klolas, in the Torah. If you want to understand the Torah absolutely correctly, then you really see in the klolas bracha. And that's what the Alter Rebbe was doing. That was the function of the Alter Rebbe. So it comes out that in one little pirush in the word bracha, the Rebbe is introduced to us a whole new concept of what does it mean, the Inyan from bracha. Al Kaponim, it means then that the Inyan from bracha is a very, very high madrega, and that's only shot to be Mamadala, Mata Nimta, that all the words in that posse are all them Mamadala, Mata, and they all indicate levels that the mensch can't reach what he's on avoida. Elul appears to be exactly the opposite. Only through my effort, then I get whatever I get. Im Kain, That's what he now says. Keitzad ניתן לקשר. How can we make a connection? Parashat שכל כולו ימשוך מלמעלה, לחידוש אלו שמבטא דווקא ישראל matters. So why is it that Shabbos Pashariyeh always comes out in the way that it's either Rosh Chodesh or Shabbos Mavochim? It has a very close and general effect on the whole Chodesh Elul, but it seems to be the opposite of Chodesh Elul. So the Rebbe said, the way they do it in many great pilpuls, the Rebbe says a whole teretz, and then he said, well, we can't really say that's the opposite teretz. So that's what he says now. ניתן לתרץ זייס בכך. We could answer this question the following way. And we could say like that. שחידוש אלו מהווה חשבון צדק. לא ירח על עבודת האדם מלמטה, אלא אף עבודתו וגילוי נשמתו, שזו עבודה מלמעלה למטה. We spoke about that last week also. That there are two different inyonim which can be called avodas ha'odam. One is when he does takim no matter l'mayla, purely mitani zarkoya. But then he said the fact that the nefesh eloki is a chelek elokam mimar. Remember we learned about that last week. It's a divine portion from above. Of a middle, there's certain things in the nefesh elokis, what they're like a divine gift and a divine power that they affect your whole parts of your life. So the Rebbe said, that in the Avodas Odom B'Klal, there's also no Mailala Mata. He said, Nukuda Zu Huzbara Barchova B'Tziga Chodemet. Yal Pasha Eger. Remember, we learned about that. That's something. V'shom Huzbar, Gam Shahayim Arishon Baruch Chodesh Elu, Yakosher L'Chesben Anefesh Elo Aveda Mil Mailala Mata. And he says, over there we hinted that the first day of Rosh Chodesh Elul, it really belongs to Melech HaMolech. The first day of Rosh Chodesh Elul is Lamed Or. Only Sunday is going to be Elul, it's the first of Elul. So he said, it belongs to the summer. And it's well known that the summer is, the Arizal says, that the Chodshei HaKayet are what's called Milmayla Lamata. Yeah, the Chodshei HaKayet all come Milmayla Lamata. Therefore, even though you're making a cheshbon tzedek on the months close to you where you are now, you're back into the ones which are in the summer. He said they begin with Nisan, and Nisan is Doidi Li Vaniloid. Nisan is the other way around. Why is that? Because there's a certain inyan, as we just pointed out, in Avodas Odom, that he gets in Yonim Milmayla. So therefore he has to make a cheshbon tzedek. How did he use those things which are given to him? How did he make use of that? How did he bring that out in such a way to be a reality in his avodah? And so therefore that's got a connection with the months before, and that's why the first day of Chodesh Elul is shaykh to Or. And then he said, where are we? V'shom Uzba, Gam Shayom HaRishon b'Chodesh Elul, Kosher L'Chesben HaNefesh, Al Aveda Milmayla Lamata. V'lo Chayin, Hu Yetze B'Shabbos, Sheb'Shabbos Lo Misaskim Kol Kach Im Ha'olam, Ela Yetze Im HaNeshama, Ve'im Torah V'Tfilah, V'adav Chodesh Gam B'Mitzvos Achila V'Shtia B'Shabbos. He said, Lochein Matim Sheshabbos Zu Tiyeh Shabbos Pashariyeh. Meduva Oides Aveda Milmayla Lamata. So therefore the Rebbe says that in this kriyas that we have, the first day, which really belongs to the summer, is Shabbat. That's the big Maila that we have this year. And he said Shabbos is all Milmayla Lamata. He said Shabbos, Hashem gives you this unbelievable gift that you cut off from all the inyanim udin, the choil, very good, things of weekday in yonim, and you're as it were separate